On your plate sits a steak. Simple, familiar, a few euros at the supermarket. But between a living animal in a field and that neatly packed cut in your fridge, there is a long, precise, and surprisingly hidden journey, one most people never think about. So let's follow it, from a German pasture, step by step, all the way to your plate. Because the path your beef takes is more controlled, more industrial, and more concentrated than you'd ever guess. It starts on the farm. Cattle in Germany are usually raised for somewhere between 18 months and 2 years until they reach their target weight. This is the slow part of the journey, months of grazing and feeding, quietly, out in the countryside. When the time comes, the animals are transported to an abattoir, a slaughterhouse. By law, this is done carefully. Journeys are kept as short as possible, and drivers are specially trained to handle live animals and keep stress low. On arrival, the first checkpoint. A veterinarian inspects every animal's health before anything else happens. Any animal that seems unwell is set aside. Then the cattle rest in a holding area before the next stage. That next stage is the slaughter itself. Here will be brief and matter of fact. The animal is stunned unconscious first, and the process from there is strictly regulated. It is not pleasant to dwell on, and we won't, but it's the moment the animal becomes meat. From this point on, the story is about the meat. And immediately, the meat is checked again. A veterinarian examines and stamps every single carcass, confirming it's fit to eat. A label is attached carrying the animal's provenance, its weight, quality grade, and slaughter details. In Germany, this inspection isn't optional. It's the law on every carcass, every time. Next, temperature. A carcass leaves the animal at around 37 degrees, body heat. Before it can be cut or processed, it has to be chilled down to below 7 degrees. So it goes straight into a cold store. From here on, the beef almost never leaves the cold, a continuous chain of refrigeration all the way to your fridge. Then comes the cutting. Skilled butchers quarter the carcass and break it down into large sections called primal cuts: chuck, loin, rib, round. The hindquarters give the prize cuts: steaks, fillet, roasting joints. The forequarters are ideal for mincing. This is heavy, precise, manual work, still done largely by human hands. But the beef still isn't ready. Because unlike pork, beef has to age. Freshly cut, it would be tough. So it's stored under careful refrigeration for days, typically 1 to 2 weeks, sometimes longer, while natural enzymes slowly break down the muscle fibers. This is what makes beef tender and gives it flavor. Aging isn't a delay, it's an essential step. The steak on your plate spent time simply resting in a cold room. Once aged, the cuts are vacuum sealed and packed. The temperature is checked again. The meat is only released to travel when it's confirmed below 7 degrees. Then a fast, computer-controlled cold chain logistics system moves it to the shop by the quickest route, never breaking the chill. And there it lands, in the supermarket cabinet, neatly packed, looking like it was always just a product on a shelf. The long journey is invisible by the time you pick it up. So that's the journey. You farm, transport, inspection, slaughter, inspection again, chilling, cutting, aging, packing, cold transport, shelf, plate. Long, careful, and heavily regulated at every step. But here's the part that's easy to miss. This journey in Germany is extraordinarily concentrated. A small handful of large companies slaughter and process the overwhelming majority of the country's meat, and most of it reaches shoppers through a few big discount chains. That scale has a quiet cost. The system is built around a few huge plants, and even the inspection fees favor them. A large processor can pay a fraction of what a small independent butcher pays to have an animal inspected. So the cheap, efficient industrial path is the one almost every steak now takes. In the small local butcher, the image many people still picture is slowly being squeezed out. The takeaway isn't that your beef is unsafe. German inspection is genuinely strict. It's that the journey behind that simple steak is far longer, colder, and more industrial than the label suggests. And it runs, increasingly, through just a few very large hands. So next time there's beef on your plate, remember how far it traveled to get there, and how few companies now control that road. If you like having everyday things traced like this, subscribe.